Hello dear students, this is second video lecture of module 5 and we are going to discuss about environmental ethics, climate change, global warming and acid rain. Dear students, अब जो हमारा नेक्स्ट टॉपिक है वो है एनवायरमेंटल एथिक्स, इश्यूज एंड पॉसिबल सॉल्यूशंस। इथिक्स यानी कि नैतिकता, ये आमतौर पर विकास प्रक्रिया के दौरान विकसित होने वाले मानव के चरित्र को संदर्भित करती है और आसपास के एनवायरनमेंट के साथ अनुकूलन की आवश्यकता से प्रभावित होती है। अगर हम एनवायरमेंटल एथिक्स की बात करें तो कह सकते हैं कि पर्यावरणीय नैतिकता या एनवायरमेंटल एथिक्स का संबंध नेचुरल एनवायरनमेंट के साथ मनुष्यों के नैतिक संबंधों से है। यह इस तथ्य को प्रकट करता है कि अर्थ पर उपस्थित सभी जीवों को जीवन जीने का अधिकार प्राप्त है। प्रकृति को नष्ट करके हम सभी जीवों के जीवन जीने के इस अधिकार को अस्वीकृत करते हैं। यह कार्य अन्यायपूर्ण और अनैतिक है। न केवल अन्य मनुष्यों बल्कि प्रत्येक जीव का सम्मान करना और उनके जीने के अधिकार को स्वीकृति प्रदान करना ही हमारा प्रथम कर्तव्य है। तो एनवायरमेंटल एथिक्स के बारे में हम कह सकते हैं, इट डील्स विद द इश्यूज related to the right individuals that are fundamental to life and well-beings. This concerns not only the needs of each person today, but also those who will come after us. It also deals with the rights of other living creatures that inhabit on earth. This is the definition of environmental ethics. What are the major environmental issues? Use of resource. The way we use resources provokes often irreversible ecological damage. Extraction and processing of non-regenerative raw materials, जो कि लार्ज स्केल पर एयर, वाटर एंड सॉइल को पॉल्यूट करके इकोसिस्टम में डिस्टरबेंस क्रिएट करते हैं। Even the extraction and production of renewable resources often involve extensive use of energy, materials, chemicals, and in some cases water. And all this translates into pollution. In short, raw material extraction and processing always impacts on environment, resulting as they do in soil degradation, water shortages, biodiversity loss, damage to ecosystem functions, and air pollution like global warming. Second major environmental issue is urbanization and industrialization. Urbanization and industrialization has influenced the atmosphere in different ways, like growth of vehicles, sanitation, power consumption, etc. It reduces agricultural land, forest, grasslands. Now vegetation. The number of plant species are declining. and the number of threatened plant species is increasing. Approx 5,611 plant species comes under threatened species. Next is animals and birds. Biodiversity is essential for the survival of life on earth. और इंडिया बायोडाइवर्सिटी से समृद्ध है, लेकिन डिफॉरेस्टेशन एंड माइनिंग एक्टिविटीज से अमूल्य बायोडाइवर्सिटी को खतरा है. नेक्स्ट इज पोल्यूशन. Pollution is undesirable change in physical, chemical, and biological characteristic of air, water, and soil, जो जीवन को नुकसान पहुंचाता है. Noise pollution means the unwanted sound dumped in the atmosphere, leading to health hazards. Rapid industrial growth, heavy traffic, urban crowd, and electric equipments like loudspeaker, DJs, religious and social functions noise pollution को बढ़ाते हैं. Next is solid waste. We are discussing here major environmental issues. Solid waste is most of visible form of pollution. It includes glass containers like bottles, cookeries, plastic containers, polythene, and packing materials that are used and then thrown as garbage. More urbanization and industrialization, the problem of waste disposal increased. Next is population. The major issue is population growth in India. भारत विश्व की जनसंख्या का कुल 17.8% है और दुनिया के कुल क्षेत्रफल का 2.4% है. Population growth has greatly increased the pressure on natural resources. Now the solutions of environmental issues. Conservation of natural resources, forestation, conservation of biodiversity, pollution control, population control, value leadership, say no to plastic, solid waste management. Introduction. Climate is the average weather of an area. It is the general weather conditions, seasonal variation and extremes of weather in region. Such conditions which average over a long period, at least 30 years, is called climate. Climate represents sum of all statistical weather information of the atmospheric elements with a specified area over a period of time. It never remains static, but it is a dynamic process, greater or less degree. It is changing. It is common deviation from the average as well as extreme conditions. The global change in temperature will not be uniform everywhere and will fluctuate in different regions. The places at higher altitude will be warmed up more during rate of autumn and winter than the place in plains. This will disturb the global pattern of winds and ocean currents as well as the lining and distribution of rainfall. By a temperature increase of 1.5 to 4.5 degrees Celsius, the global hydrological cycle is expected to intensify by 5 to 10%. Causes of climate change. Milankovic proposed the changes in the intensity of solar radiation received from the Earth were affected by three fundamental factors. This is known as variation in Earth's orbital characteristics. The first is called eccentricity, a period of about 100,000 years in which nearly circular orbit of the Earth changes into a more elliptical orbit. Next factor is obliquity, a period of about 41,000 years where the Earth's axis tilt varies between 21.5 and 24.5 degrees. The final factor is called precession, a period of approximately 23,000 years where the Earth's axis wobbles like a spinning top. Let's see in video. Earth spins on its axis once in every 24-hour day, and the Sun rotates on its axis once every 27 days. Its approx distance from Earth is 150 million kilometers, 93 million miles. Its average distance between Earth's orbit around the Sun is not fixed. Its orbit cycle from an almost circle to that of eclipsed to almost to circle again. The cycle takes place over a period around 100,000 years. The rotation of Earth is at angle to vertical, and this angle changes over a time. It moves from 22.1 degree to 24.5 degree and back again. That is over a time span is 41,000 years. The Earth also goes through cyclic wobble. It moves to its curved position to the star Polaris to star Vega and return to points Polaris. It takes 19 to 26,000 years. The combined effect causes the season gradually cycles relative to the perihelion and aphelion. This over a time span is 21,000 years. Now, next cause of climate change in atmosphere, carbon dioxide variation. A colorless, odorless greenhouse gas
It is produced naturally when dead animals or plants decay, and it is used by plants during photosynthesis. People are adding carbon dioxide into the atmosphere mostly by burning fossil fuels like coal, oil and natural gas makes variation in atmospheric carbon dioxide. This extra carbon dioxide is the main cause of climate change. Let's see in video.
As the sun's rays reach the Earth's surface, some are absorbed and re-emitted as heat. Greenhouse gases such as water vapor and carbon dioxide absorb and re-radiate some of this heat. Increased amounts of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere mean more heat is trapped, warming the Earth. Human activities, especially the burning of fossil fuels, have increased concentrations of atmospheric carbon dioxide by 40%, mainly since 1900. Global average surface temperature has increased by 0.8 degrees Celsius over that time. Other changes to the climate in recent decades can be seen in the warming of the oceans, a rise in sea level, decreasing snow and ice covering the northern hemisphere, and a decline in sea ice in the Arctic. If emissions continue unchecked, then further warming of 2.6 to 4.8 degrees Celsius could be expected by the end of this century. Even at the low end, this would have serious implications for human societies and the natural world. For more information about climate change from the Indian Science Academy, please visit
Variation in solar output. The surface of the sun has temperature of roughly 6,000 Kelvin, while the core of the sun is 15 million Kelvin. The total light output of the sun is 3.8 into multiplied by 10 to the power 26 watts. The energy produced in 1 second would be enough to power human civilization for 1 million years. The sun's differential rotation. Since the sun is a gaseous body rather than solid, different latitudes can rotate at different speeds. Its equator rotates once every 25 days, while regions near the poles rotate every 30 days. Effects of climate change. Global warming and greenhouse effect. Earth, the third planet from the sun, the only planet having vast diversity of life forms. While other planets of our solar system are either scorching hot or cold. Earth has relatively stable temperatures. What is that which is making Earth different? What exactly is making Earth such a favorable place to live on? It is Earth's atmosphere, which is a thin blanket of air surrounding the Earth from all sides. This air is a mixture of many different gases, just like an umbrella, which protects us from sun and rain. This thin layer of air protects Earth from the harmful radiations from the sun. But this stable temperature is rising every passing years. Oceans are getting warmer, significant. Shift in the climate is seen. Glaciers are melting. Why is all this happening? What should be done to stop all this? We will find the answer to all these questions through the session. Earth is constantly bombarded with enormous amount of radiations from the sun, which we receive in the form of light and heat energy. These radiations in the form of visible ultraviolet and infrared have to first pass the Earth's atmosphere before reaching the surface. The ozone layer, which is present in the Earth's atmosphere, blocks some amount of harmful ultraviolet rays from reaching the surface of remaining rays. Reaching the surface, part of it is absorbed by the Earth, and some, especially the infrared waves, are reflected back into the space. But some gases in the atmosphere traps this heat radiation and re-emits it to the surface, which leads to heating up of the environment. This exchange of incoming and outgoing radiation that warms the Earth is referred as greenhouse effect, and the gases involved in this are called greenhouse gases, which mainly includes carbon dioxide, methane, water, vapor, chlorofluorocarbons, etc. But are you not wondering why it is called greenhouse effect? If it's something to do with the greenhouse, if you said yes, you are thinking in the right way. A greenhouse is a glass building in which plants that require protection from cold weather are kept. The glass cover helps to trap all the heat energy and keeps inside the environment warm. Now consider a planet Earth. The atmosphere acts as the glass that traps the heat. The greenhouse effect is essential in order to keep a planet warm. In the absence of this effect, the temperature of the Earth's surface would have been -20 to -40 degrees Celsius. But too much of something is bad, right? If the plants in the greenhouse receive excess heat, it would burn. And if we consider planet Earth, over the last 2 centuries, human activities have changed the Earth's atmosphere in a dramatic way. The amount of greenhouse gases have increased and are still increasing. They trap too much heat, and this excessive greenhouse effect results in global warming, which is an increase in the Earth's average temperature. Consequences of global warming are enormous. Its effects are not limited to 1 century, but it would affect the entire planet. Knowing the fact that global warming exists and human-made carbon dioxide emissions have caused it, many nations of the world have come together to sign an international treaty, the Kyoto Protocol. The major objective of this protocol are commitment to reduce greenhouse gases by about 5% below their 1990 levels. But what can be done by us? How can we contribute in reducing global warming and also its consequences? Well, planting more number of trees, reducing waste generation, reducing the use of products which generates greenhouse gases, using energy efficient appliances, increasing fuel efficiency of vehicles, using more renewable energy, or safe switch into greener ways, which causes less harm to our environment.
Acid rain. Acid rain or acid deposition occurs when sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides react in the atmosphere with water, oxygen, and other chemicals to form various acidic compounds such as nitric acid and sulfuric acid. The acids fall to the ground from the atmosphere in wet or dry forms. This can include rain, snow, fog, hail, or even dust. Forms of acid deposition. Acids can be deposited in 2 ways. One is wet deposition, and another is dry deposition. When acidic materials falls from the atmosphere to the ground in wet form, such as rain, snow, sleet, hail or fog etc., then it's called wet deposition. On the other hand, When acids deposit on the Earth's surface in a dry form such as dust or gases, then it's called dry deposition. Acid rain is measured using a scale called pH. Pure water pH 7. But normal rainwater pH 5.4 to 5.6. And acid rainwater pH 4.2 to 4.4. Normal rainwater is weakly acidic. Why? This is because it reacts with carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and forms mildly acidic carbonic acid before it becomes rain. Acid rain formation. In acid rain, sulfur dioxide undergo oxidation and then react with water, resulting in the formation of sulfuric acid. Reactions. Carbon dioxide reacts with water to form carbonic acid. Sulfur dioxide gradually oxidizes to form sulfur trioxide, and sulfur trioxide reacts with water to form sulfuric acid. Nitrogen dioxide reacts with water to form nitric acid. Effect of acid rain. Acid in the air reacts with calcium carbonate of marble and makes yellow in color. It damages the statues, monuments and tombstone made up of stones and metals. Acid rain decrease the pH level of water. Low pH level kill fishes, their eggs and fish food organisms. Acid rain also damages high-altitude forests. Moreover, it limiting the soil of essential nutrients available to them.
Please like and subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon to get new video updates.